now that you have your shape cut out, so I'm going to use this as an example, so I know it's not my cloud shape, but just go with me here, okay? So now that your shape is cut out, the next step that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start adding any details that you want to your board, okay? So there's a couple different ways that you might do that. So let me show you. So let's say we need to make our dividers for our clay piece. We can do that, or for where the tic-tac-toe is actually going to go. Oh, that rhymed. So for instance, what I would do is lightly carve where you want that to go. Everybody's is gonna be a little bit different. So this is totally not even. I don't have enough space down there, but you can see that that is one way of making the marks. They're certainly not wide enough here. So what I would do once you got the placement of them, I would work on using some different tools to making those a little bit deeper, a little bit smoother, so that we have our little spaces, okay? And this is gonna take you some time to do. You're not just gonna draw the lines real quick and then have all these little crumbs and things like that. You're gonna have to clean that up quite a bit. Now, maybe you're not into the carving in, and instead you want it to raise up, depending on your design. There's a couple of different ways that we can do that. What I would recommend is taking some of your extra clay and begin by rolling a really small coil. So when I say small coil, these are gonna be like probably half the width of your pinky finger. And obviously it depends on how skinny your pinky finger is, but half the width of mine, that's for sure. So this is one way you could go about it. Okay, so that's pretty good. I want it to be pretty even. So then I'm gonna use this to help kind of build this up. So what I need to do is I'm just gonna loosely measure so I know how long this piece needs to be here. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to slip and score this. I'm gonna switch the angle so you can see this a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is I am going to score. You can use any tool for this. I am gonna use this serrated rib, and I'm gonna create score marks by scratching this up. And then I'm also going to score the piece that I am going to attach. So here, I am creating score marks all along. All right, so now what I need to do is I need to take my slip container. If it's a little dry, just add some water to it. Don't worry if the color is not quite the same. This is a little bit darker gray. It's just a different batch of clay. I promise it will all dry the same. So notice I am blotting. I am not wiping, because if we wipe, we just totally get rid of all those score marks. So then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press this down. Make sure it's nice and secure. And now, it's looking a little messy. So now what I need to do is I need to clean this up on the sides and on the front. And so how I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna take a tool and I'm going to do kind of smoothing it in to the sides. And then you can kind of trim it up, straighten it out, things like that. So you'll want to do that on both sides so it's nice and even. So just look at how I did that tiny bit up here, how it's already looking way smoother than what this size is up here. And then of course, once you have that, trim it up, shape it how you want it to be, okay? So that is one option to creating the lifted ones as well. You could also go to the slab roller, roll out a really skinny slab, or roll out a slab and then cut skinny strips and build that up however tall you need to, okay? So for mine, I am going to have, I want to have a spot. So I'm just making dots for where I want the spaces to be for my pieces. Okay, so like this is gonna be a spot. This is gonna be a spot. This will be a spot. This will be a spot. So on. Okay, so what I'm gonna do for this is I'm gonna make little fluffy patches of clouds. So I'm gonna shape these a little bit, mold them a little bit, so that it kind of gives some dimension to my clouds. So they're not all gonna be the same. It's gonna look a little weird at first, but I do kind of want them to be flat, okay? And this is where my pieces will go. So I'm gonna make a few of these and I will speed it up. Okay, so I actually changed my mind. I wasn't liking that. So instead, I'm gonna make my grid again, and you can totally use a ruler if you want to. So I probably should use a ruler. So here we go. This is about 6.5 inches. So I'm gonna kind of do these pretty even-ish. They're not gonna be perfect. All right. So I'm just lightly tracing, not carving in. Carve too deep like I did, just smooth over top. Okay, so now I have my pieces, my 9 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, where I will be able to put my pieces. Okay, I have to work on smoothing that out, but after we have that part done, we'll be starting to make the little pieces.